was curious about how it was for you to adapt a literary work, a novel per se, whereas I Can't Think Straight seemed to be a little bit less of, I remember hearing a story about that you were stuck and so you went and wrote a screenplay about it. But this, I thought, The World Unseen has a lot of subtleties and it is very literary, so I was wondering what that experience was like.
So I think it was fine. I had experience writing screenplays, which is, I think, made a big difference, rather than just going at it as a novelist. So I think the core for me was to try and figure out what is the core theme, what am I trying to say in this piece of work, and how to get there. I think because the novel was written quite visually, it was easy to keep some scenes pretty much intact as they were in terms of the look and feel and blocking of them. But other things had to go because there's a lot of different subplots and characters in The World Unseen, and I didn't want it to be a 3-hour epic either. I wanted it to be something that reflected the core theme of integrity and being true to yourself. So it was, for me, it was a happy process. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it wasn't painful to lose certain things.
What did you lose, for example?
There were a couple of family members. Our sister, he has a sister who's mentally ill and has a previous history. What else did we lose? I think there was a little more
back-end story with Jacob.
The backstory of Jacob. I think a couple of subplot backstories like that. But in general, the main theme between Amina and Miriam, I think, remained pretty much intact.
Okay. And now I've also read that you are going to be adapting your other novel, Despite Falling Snow.
Yes.
And so I wondered how far along you are in that project, and also if you wanted to tell us about other projects that are in the works.
Okay. So I'm quite far along in terms of a screenplay. We have a finished script for Despite the Falling Snow. That was quite a different. It's not a different feel from the novel, but there was a lot of adaptation there. But I think, again, it's very cinematic because the novel moves between post-Stalinist Russia and present-day America, and the story unfolds a little bit in each one. And hopefully by the end of each section you are on a hook and then you want to go to the next one. So that was, it was a tough screenplay to write. It took me a while, but it's there. And in the meantime we're just finishing editing on a documentary based around TEDx Holyland, which I'll have Hanan tell you a little bit about. It's a conference that Hanan started in Jerusalem.
And you just wrapped on that, or you finished?
We're just finishing. We're doing online. We'll finish it next week, I hope. So yeah, we'll be sort of after that taking it to festivals.
Filming in Israel?
Yeah, in Palestine and Israel.
Okay. And can you describe the project for us a little bit?
Sure. TEDx Holyland was. I don't know if you know TED. Yeah. So we've done several TED events. Shamim has spoken at several, and then we met my Israeli partner Liat at TED India, and decided to do TEDx Holyland, bringing Palestinian and Israeli women together in East Jerusalem, where normally they don't get the chance to come together or to have a voice internationally or even locally to express to each other. So around that, I told Shamim I think it would be a great documentary Shamim has never worked on a documentary before, it was our first. So it would be great to take that and to share it with people internationally versus it being a very localized event in a TED format. So as a result, we did that, and we went back again, did more interviews with very interesting women, exceptional women.
In this documentary direction, do you think you might want to go?
No, I can't say no. I mean, I think I enjoyed the process, and I think there are many things to explore, but I'm in love with the fictional side of things. But I really enjoyed this process more than I had expected. I wasn't sure what would come out of it. I think not working with a set narrative concerned me at the beginning. So like, okay, but having said that, there's an amazing flexibility to see what you can get out of people. And I think it was just very inspiring. I think here are women who are not waiting for peace, who are not waiting for politicians 60 years later. They are making their own changes. And again, it's a message of hope and human potential.
That's an important story to get out.
Absolutely, yeah, in a difficult region.
This is sort of a more personal question, but I was just curious about the family side of things. I wondered how how it's been for you to have a family, and if you feel like motherhood has changed your vision or your way of working?
Yes and no. I mean, of course, your children are always then at the forefront of your life. But I think the wonderful thing about of us working together as a couple is that we can work together as a family. So if we need to go shoot a movie in South Africa, we can all go, and we're both working on it. And in some cases, the children are working on it because because they've acted in both of our movies a little bit, and it's a great experience for them, I think, as well. We try not to upheaval them too much, but I think it's fun for them to have moms who are into a lot of different creative things, and they're very much a part of our working life and our obviously our daily lives.